We're from Mishawaka High School. Our class had the opportunity to participate in the To Be Honest program this year. To Be Honest gives high school students a chance to get their voice and their opinions out into the world. And through writing and filming our own half-hour segment, we've done just that.
This year's theme is something to believe in. At Mishawaka, we believe in our community. Our community shapes who we are as people. Everything from our interesting and unique history to even the newest additions to our city has impacted who we are today. Today we will be showing you some parts of our community that are most meaningful to us.
Mishawaka's unique history begins with the origins of our one-of-a-kind name. References to the lore that goes along with Mishawaka's name are found all around the city, showing how connected the city's name is to our community.
The city of Mishawaka, Indiana is nicknamed the Princess City. You can see those words painted on underpasses, written on travel websites, and printed on the city's seal. Also on our seal, you see a Native American woman, our city's namesake, Princess Mishawaka. According to our legends, Princess Mishawaka was the daughter of Chief Elkhart of the Shawnee tribe. She fell in love with one of the area's fur trappers, named Deadshot, while being held as a prisoner in the Potawatomi area. She was then kidnapped by a gray wolf, who was a member of her own tribe. After being rescued by Deadshot, the two got married and lived somewhere here in the Mishawaka area, and after her death, she was then buried by the river. But just because a story is popular does not make it true. The Princess Mishawaka story comes from a book published in 1875, which was titled The Legends of Michigan. All the stories in the book take place somewhere around Allegan, Michigan, which is about 70 miles north of Mishawaka. An alternative for the Princess Mishawaka story could be that the word Mishawaka came from the Potawatomi word for big rapids or swift flowing water. With the St. Joseph River flowing right through the city, this explanation for how we got our city's name makes sense. While the Princess Mishawaka story is a nice one, it is unlikely to be true. It is much more plausible that our city's name came from the Potawatomi language. But whether or not she really was the namesake for our town, Princess Mishawaka has become a recognizable symbol, one that you can still find all over our city.
The rest of our community is just as unique as our city's name. In order to capture events that affect our community, our local high school runs a program called Mishawaka Network. Mishawaka Network is an innovative program at the high school. It is still fairly new. It has only been around for 5 years.
At the Mishawaka Network, we film and live stream school events such as sporting events, band, choir, plays, school board, and local events near Mishawaka. Students run multiple camera angles, commentate, and run the TriCaster. Aside from live streaming, we form a weekly newscast of all the latest scores, school news, and local news. All of the scripts and editing are done by students. Mishawaka Network allows students to stay involved in school activities even if they aren't in the main event. Filming gives students experience with top-of-the-line equipment and work experience. Our live streams, which are put on by students on YouTube or IHSAA TV, allow students, staff, and families to view school events even if they can't attend in person. One of the great privileges of working with the Mishawaka Network is the opportunity to use top-of-the-line equipment. For example, all workers gain experience using a Sony camera, Canon C100, and a cinematic RED camera. Another quality piece of equipment being Final Cut Pro to piece together all the videos exactly how we envision it. How long have you been teaching?
Right now in 2023, this is my 11th year teaching, and it's my 5th year here at Mishawaka High School.
How did you get into filming and editing?
I started in high school actually. We did some projects in high school and I learned how to use Adobe Premiere, which is kind of an industry standard program. And then I took one class in college that was a service learning class, and I made a promotional video for Big Brother, Big Sister, the program. And then I kind of I got away from it, was teaching math for a long time, and then I got involved with sports broadcasting here at Mishawaka High School.
What are some experiences students can count on when coming to the Mishawaka Network?
Yeah, so in class and also at events, you can count on learning something new. There's lots of stuff to learn, and I'm learning new stuff every single year, every single day. You learn something new, a shortcut, something. A student will say, hey, did you know you could do this? I'm like, no, like you learn stuff. So you can count on learning something new and developing, and the other thing is developing skills that are transferable into a workforce, right? You can go and work at a company filming or being on camera, doing all sorts of stuff by the work you do here.
That sort of foundation of those skills has since led me to do a lot of unique gigs and also some very interesting sort of freelance jobs and career opportunities. I do a lot of stuff with the University of Notre Dame as a freelancer for Notre Dame Studios. And that's something that is for both athletics but also for their in-studio productions. So it's kind of taking the best of a lot of the skills and environments here, but kind of going to that next level. And then through other things, I've done a lot of stuff with NBC Sports for Notre Dame, which I got that through my original Notre Dame connection. And then I've also been able to work with a lot of local creators, independent filmmakers, in order to work on short films, television commercials. And that's been a lot of fun because it's kind of exposed me to like, oh, there's a whole network of people out there.
But Mishawaka Network is just one part of Mishawaka High School, and that is just one part of the entirety of the Mishawaka school system. Mishawaka Schools has had many changes to it. At one point, almost merged with another school system. Many programs have started and many are still active for the students.
Hello, I'm Joseph Swank. I'm here to tell you some of the history behind Mishawaka Schools. Mishawaka Schools started in 1834 in a small building. By 1840, the first public schoolhouse was built. Records from 1860 show 251 boys and 259 girls attended, between the ages of 5 to 20, within the corporate limits of Mishawaka. The original building was 3 stories and made from red brick on 1st and Hill Street. In 1911, a new building was built, 1 block further south, and became Mishawaka High School. The Board of Education was established in 1873. The first graduating class of Mishawaka High School graduated in 1878. In 1947, Penn Township and Mishawaka Schools considered combining. This was voted out by township trustees. In 1949, the people of Mishawaka requested a 5-man school board, and for that board to include at least 1 woman. The current hybrid school board was established in 2011, made up of 3 elected members, 1 member appointed by the mayor, and 1 member appointed by city council. ISB student teachers in 1968 began participating in the elementary school student teaching program. This program is still in place today. Then in 1968, there once again was a possibility of a merge of School City Mishawaka and Penn Harris Madison school systems. It was then mutually agreed that combining the schools would be postponed indefinitely. In 1971, for the first time, School City Mishawaka adopted an official seal. The circular seal has an open book representing learning, with a wheel symbolizing progress. Inscribed are the words, School City of Mishawaka. A group was formed to ensure that each student of School City Mishawaka received the best possible education. This group was called Friends of Mishawaka Education. Additionally, in 1973, Penn Harris Madison and School City Mishawaka pulled resources together to provide a joint special education program. Joint services were disbanded, and today the program is known as Exceptional Learners at School City Mishawaka. The school board voted to close Emmons Junior High School in 1981, and for Emmons to become an elementary school. Emmons Junior High closed in 1983. John Young Middle School and Beeger continued as the 2 junior high schools until 2002, when Beeger became an elementary school. Today, School City Mishawaka has 1 high school, 1 middle school, and 7 elementary schools. Kids from all over northern Indiana come to Mishawaka to get a good education.
One of the busiest parts of School City in Mishawaka is the high school's East Gym. The Cave is one of the oldest in-use gymnasiums in the state of Indiana. It's used for a variety of events, from sports to concerts to graduation ceremonies for our high school. One of the biggest sporting events that Mishawaka High School holds in this gym is our Al Smith wrestling tournaments.
The Cave, one of the many great staples of Mishawaka. The Cave has been Mishawaka High School's gymnasium since 1924 and is rated one of the best gymnasiums in Indiana. So it's no wonder that the Cavemen are so passionate about it. Although it seems like it's just a gym, the Cave has held multiple Mishawaka events over the years, including the many award ceremonies, commencements, sporting events, and assemblies.
The Cave is 99 years old. It's the oldest active high school gymnasium in Indiana.
The trophy case sitting outside proves just how much history is stored within it. Trophies and banners that date back to over a century ago. Banners that are as old as 1920 to as recent as 2012. And trophies from as old as 1935 to as recent as present day 2023. The basic frame of the Cave has stayed the same over its 99-year history, with brief adjustments and improvements being made over the years. As recently as the summer of 2022, Mishawaka High School decided to improve the Cave by removing the sound barrier that was located on the ceiling. This sound barrier was originally installed to improve the sound quality for musical events and other special gatherings. Now, with the barrier removed, Mishawaka Athletic Director Dean Huppert said that it would improve the look, sound, and lighting dramatically. Another improvement that was made was in 1959, when the Cave was rotated to face north to south instead of east to west. They would also make room for more bleachers, offices, and a wrestling room.
These improvements have preserved the Cave to what it is today.
The Cave has been the home for basketball, volleyball, and occasionally wrestling for the past 99 years. Fans from all over the state of Indiana come to experience the historic and energetic atmosphere that the Cave emits. Student athletes from Mishawaka and from visiting schools have expressed how much it means to play in the Cave and its history behind it. In the Cave's 99-year commission, it's been home to many tournaments, championships, and invitationals. One tournament that is home to the Cave is the Al Smith Invitational for Wrestling, a highly competitive tournament that seeks competition from schools all over the state of Indiana. The Invitational is named after a fellow Mishawaka Athletics Hall of Fame alumni, Al Smith, who was an outstanding and decorated wrestling coach. He coached at Mishawaka for 32 seasons from 1966 to 1998, and his coaching record was 416, 81, and 5, and led 72 Mishawaka wrestlers to the Wrestling State Championship. Also credited to his name is 15 Northern Indiana Conference titles, 14 regional titles, 2 semi-state titles, and a 1991 state title. In the 2022 Al Smith Invitational, 32 teams from all over Indiana competed in the championship, with Crown Point being the latest team champions. The Cave is also used in a hosting rotation for IHSAA sectionals in basketball and volleyball. Most recently, the Cave hosted the 2022 girls volleyball sectionals, in which LaPorte would win the championship over Mishawaka. The Cave also hosted the 2021 girls basketball sectional, in which Plymouth would take the championship over Mishawaka. Finally, the Cave will be next used for the 2024 boys basketball sectional.
Commitments have been a huge part within the Cave's history.
Here's footage from 1960 and footage from most recently, 2019. Families and students have shared touching experiences as their child moves on to the next chapter of their life. The Cave holds award banquets for its different sports seasons. Fall and winter banquets are held every year in the Cave to recognize student athletes for their athletic and scholastic achievements.
All in all, the Cave has held many special moments over the years.
Just as the Cave is a long-standing part of Mishawaka history, so is one of our local bakeries, West End Bakery. Many local businesses have shut down in the last few years, including West End Bakery, but the bakery reopened, keeping its legacy of almost 100 years alive. Its new owners have added more desserts to the bakery's menu, but they have kept most of the baked goods and recipes that our community has enjoyed for generations.
The West End Bakery has been in Mishawaka for almost 100 years, being one of the oldest thriving businesses in our community. It all started in 1928 when Adolph Phoebe and his wife Mary Phoebe opened the West End Bakery on West 7th Street. That day, the most famous and well-known bakery in the entire community was born. For 94 years, West End has been a staple of our community, serving up delicious treats like donuts, cakes, and many other pastries. It seems like every morning, West End Bakery has had a line out the door from people from our community and from people that have traveled from all over the country for West End's tasty treats. West End Bakery has been in our community for generations, with it becoming a tradition to pass it down to their kids and their kids' kids. Kylie has been coming to West End Bakery ever since she was a young kid, and she loved it so much that she decided to work there.
West End Bakery has impacted me over the years because I used to go here as a kid with my dad, and I've loved it so much that I work here now. Some customers like to tell stories and like to talk with the workers and such. They really love the food because they keep on coming back, I can see.
This staple in our community is one that everyone in Mishawaka knows by name. With the bakery being open for almost 100 years, people from every generation can tell you that West End Bakery is the best there is. Sherry has worked at West End Bakery for over 20 years, and no matter how many times the years pass and the people come and go, she still loves working at West End.
It's been here since, I believe, 1929 or something, so that says a lot right there. That it's been here for almost 100 years, and it's been a good staple for the community. Brought a lot of customers in, a lot of new faces, regular customers. Always has fresh items every day, and I know that's a big plus nowadays, that people like fresh items, not just store-bought or frozen items. It's been here for a long time. A lot of companies have come and gone, but it's still here. They keep coming back. They tell us stories. They've been coming since they were kids, so that says a lot right there. That they've been here for a long, long time. They were sad to see us close. If you ever saw the videos, the long, long lines that we were closing, and then the long, long lines when we reopened.
It was announced earlier in 2020 that West End Bakery would be put up for sale, and if no one was to buy the bakery, it would close. And it did. West End Bakery was opened in 1928 by Adolph and Mary Phoebe, where they worked and lived. It was not only a bakery, it was a home for the family with living quarters and a shower in the basement. Greg Phoebe, grandson of Adolph Phoebe, took ownership of the bakery from his father, George Phoebe. At first, Greg did not work for West End out of his love for freshly baked Belgian goods, but because he wanted a 1963 Ford, which is what led him to work for his family's business. He took ownership of West End Bakery 18 years ago. Then, on June 17, 2022, after no one made a substantial offer to buy, West End Bakery shut its doors after surviving the Great Depression, World War II, and multiple recessions. With the final days of West End Bakery being open drew closer and closer, there were lines going down the street and around the block of people from our community and from around the country who wanted their fill of West End for what they thought was the last time. But new hope arrived for West End on November 21st, 2022, when the bakery reopened under the new owners Mike Washdiziak and Jeff Butler with new general manager Dave Price. The recipe never changed and the customers didn't either, with lines yet again going out the door and down the block the day of reopening. They started the day off with over 100 cakes and 200 dozen donuts. Before they closed, they were out of donuts and only left with 6 cakes. For 94 years, West End Bakery has been serving fresh-baked Belgian goods, and they continue to be one of the now few bakeries that makes them in-house and fresh, buying no store-bought refrigerated treats. Some might say there's no way that West End Bakery is as good as people say, so I decided to ask some people about it.
I've been coming here as long as I can remember, and even before that, I have enjoyed West End Bakery treats, cakes, you name it. It's a family tradition.
So we've been coming here a little over 2 years. We drive in from Walkerton because this place has the best donuts ever. And the selection is normally just incredible.
West End Bakery is located on West 7th Street in Mishawaka and is open on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also located in our historic downtown is Battelle Park. Battelle Park is just one of the parks that our community enjoys. With its rock garden, statues, and scenic paths right by the river, this is definitely one of the most beautiful parts of our community.
The history of the world is something that can seem so intangible to our everyday lives, yet it exists all around us. Nowhere is that more true than in the city of Mishawaka. Nestled along the flow of the St. Joseph River is a small metropolis that has evolved since its origins as a manufacturing hub for a variety of industries. While the factories have vanished in recent decades, Mishawaka has become a modern city that remembers its past and retains its heritage. The city's oldest park, Battelle Park, has been a place of rest and relaxation since the 1860s and was officially dedicated in 1881. The 11-acre site was named in honor of the Battelle family and is composed of several wooded areas, along with several structures which reflect distinct periods in the park's development. The Soldiers and Sailors Monument was erected in 1884 and is dedicated to the local men who participated in the Civil War. The 32-foot-high statue at the peak was modeled after one of Mishawaka's own veterans, John Boyd. The unveiling of the monument was attended by over 2,000 veterans, as the Civil War was still fresh in American minds. The intervening decades have marked significant change around the monument, as it was restored in 2019 and relocated to a new site in Veterans Plaza. What was once new and modern at Battelle Park is now both historic and breathtaking. The Rock Garden is one unique site in Mishawaka that has become an iconic part of the community since it was completed in the mid-1930s. Built into a natural ravine, this cobblestone and concrete structure was a part of the Works Progress Administration under President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal program. This public works effort attempted to counter the disastrous effects of the Great Depression by hiring unemployed citizens to work on the construction of infrastructure. The work of these citizens still stands today, both as a testament to the endurance of the human spirit and a lasting legacy of those who came before us. As both an iconic monument and a place of entertainment in Battelle Park, the bandshell has been a staple of Mishawaka since its construction in 1927. It was dedicated on Memorial Day 1928 to the citizens who fought in the First World War. The bandshell represents both a significant historic landmark and the largest war memorial in Mishawaka. In the shadow of the historic bandshell, upgrades to Battelle Park's infrastructure are in their final stages. A new playground will now be a part of Mishawaka's oldest park. Features include AstroTurf surfacing, a more expansive splash pad, and ADA-accessible equipment. This commitment to modernization not only makes it so that Mishawaka's parks remain up to date, but also ensures that anyone of all ages can enjoy themselves. Across the street from Battelle Park is a 2-story house that is getting a new lease on life thanks to a partnership between the City of Mishawaka and the Building Trades program at Mishawaka High School. The structure, which dates back to 1890, is being preserved and completely refurbished. While the face of Mishawaka's many neighborhoods is constantly changing, the structures persist and remain an important link to the past lives of this prosperous city. Also along the St. Joseph River, a former industrial site has become a place of community and commerce. Notable additions have included Buter Park and the Mishawaka Riverwalk. In its nearly 20 years of existence, Buter Park and the Mishawaka Riverwalk have become a part of the city's modern iconography. The evolution of Mishawaka as a city is continuing at this time, as an expansion to the Mishawaka Riverwalk is currently under construction. In addition, a second phase of the mill at Ironworks Plaza is currently in development. These forthcoming additions not only emphasize a connection with the Mishawaka community, but an investment in the future of our city. The remembrance of our past is essential for the betterment of our future. which is something that can be seen through the tributes Mishawaka has for the men and women who built this community. Without their efforts, the city of Mishawaka would not be the same. Like the flow of the St. Joe, time only moves forward. While all of us may not be here someday, the monuments that we leave behind and the care that we take towards sharing our history is what is most vital to our continued existence.